Brandon Walker sitting there talking about that he didn't want to do that to his alma mater. He wanted to stick it to Oklahoma more than you can understand. If you're not an OU fan and you don't get this, they fired him when he averaged 36 points a game on offense that year.
Mm-hmm.
He's mad as shit at OU. He hasn't returned to OU in 10 years. He didn't say shit about it during the week other than little niceties. Of course, that's what he did. He's a smart guy. He wanted to rub this in. They had 8 men in the box in the second half. They didn't take their foot off of shit.
Or offense to do X, Y, and Z. But when that stat is pretty much subjective and diluted because you're playing Sister Mary the Blind, they rush for 400 and some odd yards, or they're going to do this on so and so. But when they get in the game and they don't do so and so, then what's the first thing we say? Oh, well, they ain't played nobody. No shit. We already knew that. But we came in here and we told everybody before that game Saturday that Tennessee ain't played nobody. And yes, we did struggle against some teams. Yes, we did struggle against some teams.
Well, that's the other thing. If you look at what they did do, even scoring or whatever, at some point when you put them in the position, they started a bunch of those drives inside of Oklahoma territory.
Yes.
And they were on the field almost 10 minutes more. They were on the field almost 10 minutes more than was even with all those even with all those 3 and outs. They were still on the field almost 10 minutes more in the first half. At some point, a good offense is going to get theirs.
Yeah.
No?
Momentum is a cold bitch served. If you get momentum going, man, it can make things happen that normally don't happen. And when you get a fumble recovery and the fans going crazy and everybody's excited, before you can even go over there and take your damn helmet off and get some Gatorade, the damn ball's going right back to that team. And you'll go right back out there and do the same damn thing. Momentum is a bitch. Sorry for saying that. And
how many times
you don't understand
that? Herbie say, well, eventually they're going to get it. They're going to get it going here. They're going to get it going here. But I give the defense from Oklahoma a lot of credit, but eventually the dam's going to break. It never broke. And once you brought Hawkins in and gave him a little bit of rest, they didn't even got a little better in the second half. They scored what? 2 field goals in the second half. No touchdowns. They let their foot off the gas. According to Tennessee fans, they put their foot off the gas. Bullshit. They took their foot off the gas.
No.
Bullshit.
No.
Hey,
and your coach is getting upset when a guy gets hurt.
I don't give a fuck what Brandon Walker said, folks. I don't give a fuck what Brandon Walker said. Brandon Walker sitting there talking about that he didn't want to do that to his alma mater. He wanted to stick it to Oklahoma more than you can understand. If you're not an OU fan and you don't get this, they fired him when he averaged 36 points a game on offense that year.
Mm-hmm.
He's mad as shit at OU. He hasn't returned to OU in 10 years. He didn't say shit about it during the week other than little niceties. Of course, that's what he did. He's a smart guy. He wanted to rub this in. They had 8 men in the box in the second half. They didn't take their foot off of shit.
Nope. This is what I'm saying to answer Kim Hurst's question. If we scored on first and second possession, Tennessee would be behind the 8 ball. Well, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We made Tennessee do some things they wasn't accustomed to doing. We said it before the ball game. When you come in there and you try to run X and Y and Z and the shit don't work, you have that oh shit moment, because now you got to figure out, what do we have to do? I'm telling you, from a person who knows family members that are lifelong Tennessee fans, they were nervous as hell because they wasn't used to seeing their team being held, and they wasn't used to their team not running their play the way it's supposed to. I'm telling you, I had people thinking that they were going to score 45 to 50 points on Oklahoma. I'm telling you, I'm not making this shit up.
That's all they kept saying. Hey, I've got 80,000 views on that TikTok and thousands of comments saying we're going to dog walk y'all.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
40, 30,
Yeah.
40, 40 to 10, whatever. They're talking about it all day long. And then there's another 15,000 of them on the same video on YouTube saying the same shit. And they're still after the game because they won, they dominated, or it's and they're saying that he took his foot off the gas or it wouldn't have been close. That's bullshit. We know it's bullshit. And you know it's bullshit because all you have to do is watch the game. Even, I mean, listen, I think that, I mean, Herbie couldn't even get Hawkins' name right. He'd call him 9.
Yeah.
You know, they were definitely wanting to say what they wanted to, what they said. They wanted to give the love to Tennessee. Do I think fight on that as you asked me? Yeah, from a one possession. They were. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But they didn't take their foot off the gas. You got 8 men in the box. That's not taking your foot off the gas. It's not.
I heard the same thing from Rhythm Lemon. I heard the same thing that the Tennessee fans were hauling profanity because they was upset that the offense wasn't running deep plays and throwing the ball all over the field. You couldn't. And a buddy of mine who coaches for another college and everything, he was like, I watched that game, man, and to see that you guys were getting pushed, getting pressure on a quarterback with a 3-man front was very impressive, and nobody's talking about that. Like they had sometimes 8 guys in the box, and you're still getting pressure with a 3-man front. But nobody wants to say anything about that because the perspective of the game is, well, Tennessee came in there and did whatever they wanted to do on Oklahoma. They didn't. The offensive line and
that's
the offensive.
Not true. That's a unfactual statement, non-factual.
I know. But like I said, to try to go back 3 or 4 days and saying what could have, should have happened is very, very depressing. But JA did stink the game up to the point to where it was just to the point to where OU couldn't come back. You were telling me during the ball game that they got to pull him, and I was saying, well, I thought that he would get it turned around. I'm a big believer in giving a guy a next time to try to go out there and get it done, but at some point you got to pull the plug and say, you know what, we got to go with a different guy just to see what kind of spark we can get. And now, like you said, I can't see no way of going back because that guy that came in showed you the heart that he had to where once he went diving and put his head down and ran into those 2 guys on the goal line, that let me know all I needed to know. He didn't try to slide. Yeah. He didn't try to get down. He tried to go through their ass to get a touchdown.
I've heard stuff about starters not being in the game. Which ones? Which fucking ones?
For who?
For
Tennessee?
Yeah, for Tennessee. Yeah. Which starters?
They played the whole game.
They played the whole damn game. I don't even know what we're talking about. That's the point. Is you can say listen. I love the way we spin things, right? We spin things. It's like I was just talking about with Stat Guy and all. And guys, relax. Let him. I can handle this part with Stat. And Stat's one of our boys. We good. Shotty's one of our boys. We good.
Oh yeah.
Just relax.
You got to say that.
You know what? I can handle this part. What I don't like is this bullshit stuff that comes in from these clowns. You know that you don't. Better say something at least. At least Stat and them are trying to give you a reason. And I can shut that shit down because that's where I feel like stats don't, you know what? Stats matter in some instances. If you don't put the right context with it, they don't mean shit. And when you have people like Tennessee people that are saying that, you know, they were saying they're going to win by 30 or 40, but, you know, well, they only didn't because, you know, they dominated the game. Well, no shit, they dominated the game. We couldn't get anything going offensively until we took out the quarterback that was turning the ball over every damn down. Didn't capitalize on big turnovers that gave you the ball at one inside the 5-yard line, one at midfield. You're ready to go in there, and at the very least, it should have been 10-10 or 10-6 at the half. At the very least. It ends up 19-3 because
10-9 because you turned the ball over 2 times in the red zone. You give the ball right back to him in the red zone.
Well, not in the red zone necessarily, but it was in plus territory for sure. Yeah. Plus territory for Oklahoma for sure. Yeah. So the second one, you know, obviously the one where it was actually at the 38-yard line, because that's the number that they were looking for of where he was in where the ball was in relation to the 38. So that's still in plus territory, though. If you just go and get 8 yards, then you're looking at you just get 8 yards. That's another field goal. Yeah. And inside the 5, you should probably punch it in. In fact, if he just on the fumble that he had, if you pitch that ball, you're in. And it was a fake pitch, was the play call. And had he pitched it, the guy walks in. That's what, and Gabe, that's what Gabe was talking about. He was giving it to Seth Luttrell.
Yeah.
Giving it to him last night. I haven't even heard Gabe say curse words on that show ever before. He said fuck at least 3 or 4 times. I was surprised. I was like, damn, that's
when you got guys that have played for the university, man, you see how passionate they are, and they're going to be direct. Those are their friends, but they are going to hold them accountable for, you know, mess ups that they have, and when they do shit that they shouldn't be doing. But you got to have a game plan. You got to have at least 3 game plans when you play a game. That's the basic status quo for a coach, is that if you got 3 quarterbacks or 2, you got to have 2 game plans in case something happens and you have to make a change, because some guys can't do what this guy can do, and this guy can't do what that guy can do. So you got to, and I hate when coaches say, well, the quarterback has to come in and run the plays, or he can't be a quarterback. You have to make the offense fit to your quarterback, or whichever quarterback you have, or you just being stupid. And I think that Seth tried to run some plays. He didn't trust Michael to go out there and make the plays. Then when it came down to crunch time, he had no choice but to trust Michael, and then the ball started to move. So that's a bad coaching job and everything, is because if I put your ass in, you got to know how to play. If you can't play, I won't put you in. Just the way it goes. So it just sucks, man. It just sucks. The defense played their ass off, man, and this is what we got out of it. A lot of complaining and bitching about the quarterback that pretty much, and I don't like saying this about JA, man, but he pretty much, it was 12 on 10 that night, because he gave them a lot of their possessions and a lot of the points. And
listen,
I hate saying that, because I know the young man right now is going through shit right now, because phone
He
blowing
is,
up, Twitter blowing it up. He's reading all this stuff, man.
A lot of
But
Sooner fans can take a lot of responsibility for what's going on, but except for because it's toxic, man. I'm in the stadium, I'm listening to it. You could hear it. And it's been like that already. It's one thing that it was going on against Tennessee, which again, I think if anything, I didn't give Tennessee the credit that they probably deserved coming in. They were damn good. They're damn good. But to be able to, essentially, you gave up 2 big plays to them. Look, they average. I mean, we can sit here and talk about, again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I thought that the stats really mattered to me that much. The fact of the matter is they went out and did it. And they've been the best rushing team in the country for the past couple of years. They've got a nice little rushing attack. Oklahoma shut that down. 2.9 yards per carry for a team that's averaging, what, 7-8 yards a carry coming in? They had 500 yards against Kent State. Again, you have to put that into context. But if you got to put that into context, then you also have to put in the rankings at week 3 of the fucking season into context. Yeah, I saw you in there, Coach I. You got to put it all into context. It can't just be whenever it suits your argument that they're not elite. That's elite. When you 9-3-and-outs makes it elite. We're going to welcome into the show